I guess you're thinking, how did we not win that game?
This can happen in football, and unfortunately it happened now twice to us. It was the same story against Burnley. I'm absolutely happy with the performance, the effort, and the quality of the game from us. And yeah, unfortunately we scored 2 goals, but one on each side.
Slightly disappointed, to be honest, going ahead in the game. We came here to win the game. We tried to win the game. That was our intent, and we understood it was going to be a tough one. You know, they're obviously in a good moment, Chelsea, and playing well, and the momentum's with them, confidence is with them.
He's been great. I think it's not an easy job for him. He just put the team together. I think we are now very together, like a proper team, compact, be together in the tough moments. And this is what we did today.
If your time in this caretaker position is 2 games, and it's a win in Villarreal and a draw at Chelsea, you're pretty proud of that, I would have thought.
Yeah, it's been a decent couple of games. It's been mixed feelings in some ways, because obviously I shouldn't be here if things had gone as we wanted. I can't get away from that. But yeah, of course, the 2 games have been 2 massive games, really.
There's been some suggestion that Ralf Rangnick might have played some part in team selection or tactics today. Do you want to just clarify that for us?
No, that's not the case, no.
Well, Michael Carrick saying that they came to win the game, but I suppose those stats suggest different, because Chelsea totally dominated the game. I suppose, Ian, coming into this one, the question was always going to be, how were Manchester United going to get something out of this well-oiled Chelsea team?
Well, I thought that they'd have to be tight. Chelsea are playing well. They'd have to deny space. They'd have to stop those wing-backs. They've been critical because of their pressing and lack of organisation in their pressing, but I thought they got it right today in the way they've done it, and they've done it consistently. You could see them here. Once they've gone, you could see the people behind Wan-Bissaka. You could see Matic, who I thought today for Man United, I know McTominay got it, was man of the match. You see Telles getting across, and this was kind of all game. It wasn't like, oh, Man United has started this well and they've done. This was all game, and they got them in a little trap here, and they won the ball. This is the problem. What Man United had is that once they won it, they didn't really progress it as well as they could have. But here it is again, good press, forcing them in. Wan-Bissaka coming out with Alonso, denying them 2 space, denying denying Chelsea the kind of time and space that they would need. Somebody like a Jorginho would want on the ball. This was a fantastic bit of play from him. Look at the energy, intensity. This is a fantastic finish, man. Bam, bam. Look at his little body swerve. There it is.
The little legs there.
Yeah, there it is. Look, and then, you know, the finish. You know, it was very good. And then the second half, you know, Man United, they didn't stop. And like I say, it's very strange to see Man United doing it, and doing it so well, and doing it so consistently. And if they can carry on doing this, then they're going to cause teams problems simply because of what they've got in offence. Now, this is the second shot on target, apart from Jadon Sancho's. I'm not sure what more he could have done, because he didn't get much off of him, but that was the second shot on target. But Man United got to get credit for the way they approached that game today.
And I suppose you just mentioned him as well, and one player that you thought was a standout player in that United team was Scott McTominay, Alan.
Yeah, what he did well is, and something they've obviously worked on in the last few days, is that you're never going to completely stop Chelsea's wing-backs getting forward and getting into good positions. But what you've got to try and do is you've got to try and reduce the number of times they get in behind you. And part of his job today was to help out to get into that position and sometimes make that third centre-back up. And the reason he's doing that is because of this. So he's saying to Wan-Bissaka, you go and get Alonso, and I'll get Hudson-Odoi. Now, Chelsea are brilliant at switch and play, as we know, and getting those wing-backs in. So they look down that avenue, there's nothing there. So they then go down the right-hand side. There's McTominay in there again. Watch the way he just shuffles over. He shoves Wan-Bissaka over. So there you go. You go and get Hudson-Odoi. And again, I'll sit on Alonso in there. So Chelsea are probing, and they're trying to get in there. And because of McTominay's position, there's actually no way through there. And they go again to the other side, and off they go. Second half, similar sort of thing. Now it's Matic's turn down this left-hand side, but just have a look at McTominay in there as well, just in case they try to switch the play. There's Matic dropping in there again, helping the centre-halves out. And Man United knew that they had to defend and defend very well today if they were going to get something out of the game. They had a little bit of luck. Times they deserved it because of the way they set up and how it worked for them.
How can we, just a quick one, go from talking about Manchester United looking so unorganised to being so well drilled against this Chelsea
Well,
team?
I said a few days ago, maybe a week or two ago, that the players had stopped running for Ollie. And that was the case. There's no doubt that the manager's gone in there. Whatever he's said has worked, or whatever he's been doing on the training ground, and the players have responded to that, and they've responded to a new voice.
Yeah, well, Ian, Chelsea did find a way through from the penalty spot. Definite penalty?
Absolutely, yeah. I think it's unfortunate, Wan-Bissaka. I thought he had a pretty good game himself today, but he just doesn't see him there. He's just going to clear the ball. He's got his eyes on the ball. He's going to clear the ball, and Thiago Silva's feet, it just gets there first, and it's a penalty. Yeah, might feel soft.
Brave for Jorginho to step up and take it?
I think so. I think he shows a lot of bottle taking that, mistaking the game, missed for Italy. Yeah. And, he scored that one. It was one that he had to score as well. Yeah.
I suppose another talking point coming into this game was whether Lukaku would start against his former team. Timo Werner, on the pitch, attempted more shots than any other player during his time on the pitch. 6, none on target. Not his day?
Not his day. He hasn't had enough days in the blue shirt of Chelsea. When you look at his record before he came to the Premier League with Leipzig, you would think with those goals, 21, 13, 16 and 28 in the 4 previous years before coming here, you'd think there's a bit of a natural goal scorer in there. But there's not. And the reason why he's not is because he should actually get into so many good goal-scoring positions, because he trains with Reece James every day and plays with him every week. We watch Reece James. We know exactly what he's good at. We know what he's going to do, and we know he's going to get the ball into the box because of the quality. He should do that. Get in there, and he'll find himself that he'll have a tap in. Now, and we were sat screaming at the television this afternoon, myself and Wright, exactly the same thing again with Ziyech. Ziyech gets into the good position. If he moves into that position 4 or 5 yards out, he gets a tap in, and again there was just a complete and utter lack of movement, and he makes everything look far more difficult than it should be. Watch the way he tries to come around it, right the way around it, to hit it with his right foot, where he should just hit that with his left foot and guide it in there. This is another really good opportunity as well, and as I said, everything looks really complicated and difficult for him. He never looks comfortable in those positions, and someone should get him and spend hours and hours and hours on the training ground to improve his movement. Then you'll see those goal numbers massively improve.
Right, you were actually saying throughout that game, Lukaku, you wanted him to be on the pitch sooner.
I did, Alex, because I believe that if he starts that game, or if he plays a longer period in that game, he scores, simply because of his movement and the fact that he's going to take those chances. Chelsea looked like Chelsea of last season. They get to a certain level and they weren't finishing. That's what happened today, and they needed Lukaku to...
Michael Carrick saying that he was disappointed. Of course, they went there to win the game. They would have loved to have won it, but they did get a draw against the league leaders. How do you reflect on United's performance today?
I think, considering the circumstances, the way Manchester United performed so far this season, to go to Stamford Bridge, come away with a draw, with a very defensive team, however you look at it, I think it's a brilliant result. His second game in charge, a lot of pressure on him. I think what he's done is a big, big positive.
And that will be good for their confidence, surely?
It should be. I think we all know from the outside, and obviously the players, know there's going to be a change. There's going to have new money next week, different ideas to try and propel the club forward. So Michael being in charge for the last couple of games, I think he's done extremely well.
Did he set the team up well for Chelsea?
Yeah, I think he did. I think it showed in the result that he got. They were a bit lucky and fortunate with the chances that Chelsea let slip. But that's football. He went there with a game plan, and his game plan worked.
And also, we sat here this time last week hearing all the reaction after the terrible defeat at the hands of Watford and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer departing the club. I mean, that's hard for any team to have to deal with, any of that. So the fact that they've managed to bounce back and get a point against Chelsea, surely that is a real positive for them.
It's massive. I think, like Andy said, to go to, obviously, in the Champions League and come away with a win, and then to go to the league leaders and be in winning position and possibly could have won the game if not for the penalty, to still come away from there with a point after the couple of weeks they had before that, I think it's a fantastic result. And if the players ain't confident after that, I don't know what else there is possibly that can make them confident.
And let's not forget the headline news coming into this was the fact that Carrick left Ronaldo on the bench. And that was quite a bold move, was it not?
That was a massive move. He did the same midweek as well. made a couple of changes, left Bruno out midweek. And I think his game plan was obviously play with a false nine, which was Bruno. You can turn around and say he's got more legs than Ronaldo at this stage of his career. And it worked extremely well. It could have been different if Chelsea had taken their chances, which they didn't do, but that's football. So you can only come away with the result you've got. And like I said, he'll be absolutely delighted with it.
Well, as we said, it was quite a frantic ending to the game, or second half, should I say. But it was Jadon Sancho that put Manchester United ahead. Were you happy to see him on the score sheet again? I
am. I think if you look in the past couple of games, you know, his confidence has come back. I said to Sean, I think the Bundesliga is the closest thing to the Premier League, and it's taken him a little bit of time to adapt. Played midweek, like I said, scored, and then it scores, finishes off really well. I'm not quite sure what Jorginho's doing there. I think he's seen Maradona on that video. He's the only man I've seen do that. And he's finished it off really, really well.
Yeah, it was a bad mistake there from Jorginho, wasn't it, Sean?
Yeah, it's definitely a terrible mistake, but I just love the way that Sancho and Rashford press. The Chelsea players don't go with him, and just the composure after he goes past him is brilliant. He could have passed, but then obviously that's not a fault in his mind, and to finish it off so confidently, the way he has done is tremendous, and I'm delighted for him, to be honest, because coming to Man United has been tough for him, and he's been patient and he's plugged away, and this shows that Sancho, why Man United bought him. For me, basically, he's that sort of player. He likes to create chances, he likes to score goals, and he loves to cause problems.
And it must be a very special feeling to score your first Premier League goal.
Most definitely. And even more so at Stamford Bridge. If it's not Old Trafford, you always want to try and score one of the big clubs and just get your first goal at Stamford Bridge. You know, put Manchester United in front, and then after that, you have to think to yourself, right, this could be a great afternoon for us.
OK, should we clear up what happened next? Because there was a penalty incident that allowed Chelsea to equalise. Talk us through why you think Talk us through why you think this wasn't a penalty.
For me, I think the ball goes in a direction of a Man United player, so it seems like Wan-Bissaka's tried to actually prod it that direction, because he's kind of prodded it and he's gone to join the attack straight away. He hasn't thought about anything. And the way the ball moves, looks like he got a full foot on the ball, enough to say that there's more contact with ball than man. But you can't see from the camera view what I need to see. But
well, here's another angle.
Yeah, they both go straight away.
But even saying that, for me, Thiago Silva, he's not got control of the ball anyway. You know, now if this happens further up the pitch, 9 times out of 10 you're not getting a free kick. You know, the referee's waving play on, so I'm not quite sure why he's giving a penalty there.
There we go. You can see it again.
No, it's not a penalty for me.
Yeah, no, I think it's a soft decision, and I can see why the players will be upset. If they're basically saying in a way that I can just put my leg when the player's going to kick the ball in front of his leg, if he kicks me, it's a penalty. That's going to be happening a lot in the Premier League then.
But in open play, we're just going to play on.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we'll be stopping it every time the ball gets rolled forward, someone makes a challenge. So I'm not having it as a penalty.
OK. Well,
there's a big tough centre-half as well.
So Jorginho, of course, made the mistake for them conceding the first goal, and then he made amends. How good was this penalty?
And I honestly love it. It can go horribly wrong, but for him, more times than other, it always goes in the back of the net. And I feel even if the keeper goes that way, it's so hard to save.
Look at his eyes.
And it goes back down, look. But it always hits like the side netting, so it's always swerving away from the keeper. So if it guesses it, there's enough power and direction to still keep it away from the keeper.
13 of his 15 Premier League goals have been penalties.
It's not bad, is it?
No, it's not.
Bad. You could say he's arrogant, but it's not. It's actually quality. You know, he believes in his own ability, he backs himself, and to score a penalty like that, you've got to have so much confidence in your ability.
So one person that I think might not sleep too well tonight is Rudiger, because he had a chance to win for Chelsea, didn't he? And we all watched this one unfold. We saw his reaction afterwards as well.
Yeah. I think, for me, the way he's hit that, in a way, is the way he plays.
Yes.
He's kind of hit it so aggressively and like he wanted to destroy the net. I think all he needed to do was have a nice, clean contact, because the power's already on the ball, so it was more of just guiding it. But he just puts his foot through it, if though he was clearing a ball or going to tackle somebody in a way. And it just goes over, but that will be hurting him, I know that's for sure.
And Tuchel's reaction says it all, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think both their reactions say it all. You know, I think Rudiger he's so 100 miles an hour. You know, the pace is on the cross. All he's got to do is side foot it, put it back in the other corner. Chelsea run out 2-1 winners. But like Sean spoke about, it's aggression, total aggression. He just wants to kill the ball.
Well, let's bring you some more post-match reaction. Will Perry was on the ground for us at Stamford Bridge and he caught up with the former Chelsea striker, Dembaba.
Demba, so it's a point apiece. Who's going to be the happy? You think Manchester United going back to the northwest with a point in the pocket?
Yeah, I think, regarding the game, the philosophy of the game, the table, I think it's a good result, you know. Even though Manchester United stays Manchester United and has to win every game in every pitches, but coming here and getting a point this season is a tough thing.
Yeah. What was missing from your old team today then? They had so many chances, didn't they? 24 shots compared to 3 from Manchester United. What was the missing piece? Obviously, Lukaku was watching on the bench, wanting to get involved.
Yeah, as you said, you know, the efficiency of the shoots could have been here. Today it was not. We saw the last chance of Antonio that hit over the crossbar. So I think if they had a little bit more of efficiency, they would have won the game. But you know, it's not like also they played a bad game or something was drastically missing. But they tried everything, and Manchester was there. You know, they play against somebody. There is an opponent there, and they have defended the best way they could, and they managed to keep them to just 1 goal.
What do you make of this Manchester United team at the moment? They were set up today to be a counter-attacking team, and it worked, didn't it? Albeit from a mistake from Jorginho.
Yeah, some will call it mistake, and it's a mistake. But at the same time, if Rashford and Sancho would have not put that pressure on him, he would have probably controlled the ball easy. And even if he would have missed his first touch, he would have been alone and be able to just get the ball back. But yeah, I mean, as I say, it's difficult to come in this field and trying to get a point. They played with their arms, with what they had today, and it worked out in terms of results.
Do you think that Ralf Rangnick or Michael Carrick picked that team today? Because it was interesting to see Cristiano Ronaldo on the bench, and obviously everyone's been talking about Cristiano Ronaldo not being an oppressor. We already started to see what Ralf is going to do, a man that you know very, very well.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know who picked that team, but I would believe Michael Carrick picked that team, because they will not let somebody pick a team and he's not even on the contract.
Yeah.
So it would be weird. But also everybody's talking about Cristiano Ronaldo not running, not doing this and that. But there is one thing about Cristiano Ronaldo, is that he wants to win every game. So I believe he's going to try to do everything to win games, because he's just a winner.
He coached you, Ralf Rangnick, didn't he, at Hoffenheim in Germany? And of course you've been out to Moscow to see him as well. He's a friend of yours. What can these United players expect when he gets involved, when he gets stuck in on the training ground?
His passion, you know, he's passionate about the game whenever he gets on the field, on the touchline. The passion speaks loud, and the intensity of the football he plays will certainly help.
How will the style change, do you think, with United?
They will probably have more verticality than they had. They will probably have more intensity in their run, and not that they don't have, you know, but because it's a good team and they're doing some good things. But he's going to bring that extra touch, which is his.
Everyone says that he's a very hands-on coach, likes to get involved. Can you see him improving the likes of Greenwood, Rashford, Martial, players like that?
Yeah, he done it in his previous club. Every time he had young players, he trusted them, he giving them confidence, and he put them on the spotlight, and you know, making sure that they perform and that they succeed on the task that he's giving them. And I'm sure with so much young talent that Manchester has, it's going to be quite of the same that he did.
He's going to get them in the top 4?
Well, get him in Manchester first. Get him in Manchester first, and then we see. But it's a difficult task.
Yeah, Demba, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Passion, intensity, a hands-on coach that can improve the players in this Manchester United squad. I guess those are the things that Man United fans want to hear when we're talking about the incoming boss. What do you make of Rangnick's appointment, Andy?
Well, I'll be very honest, I don't know too much about him. So I'm not going to sit and say he's this, he's that, because I'll be lying. But listening to Demba Ba, if he's looking to bring those kind of things to Manchester, everyone's going to be very, very happy with that. But ultimately, the majority of the teams press anyway. That's what the big teams do nowadays. They want to win the ball back as quick as possible and give their opponents problems. So it'd be interesting how he does. I'm looking forward to it, and I'm looking forward to see if I get Manchester United to finish in the top 4.
And I think many fans around the world watching and seeing the news unfold about Rangnick's appointment felt the same. They thought, who is this coach? And what we have heard is that he's been a huge part of German football and the development of it. He is like the godfather of German football. Apparently, Jurgen Klopp and all the German coaches like Tuchel really look up to him. And I think the biggest thing is that he has an identity and a clear way of how he wants his teams to play, which is exactly what United need.
Yeah, I think you're right there, but at the same time, to go from, say, the way Man United are playing now, to go into all of a sudden start pressing, are they fit enough to actually do that? Because it's a lot of demand, especially if you're training, plus over the Christmas period where you're playing 3 games a week. To be able to press like that continuously, it's hard. I remember when I went under Jesse Marsh and I was in the MLS, and some of the sessions and then into the games, I had to say to him, look, I'm like 35 now, you know what I mean? And it's 80% humidity out here. Of course, the humidity is not a factor here, but it's a lot of work. So without a full pre-season of that, it's a lot of demand on the body.
Yeah, I guess it is. And we've got fixtures coming thick and fast over December. Has this change happened at the right time, do you think, Andy?
When is the right time or wrong time?
That is the question.
I think ultimately everything's going to be based on results now. I mean, if Michael hands over the Rangers next week, they're going to look at the new manager saying, right, where can you get us from now until the end of the season? And all from then it's about winning football matches. And we can talk about style of play, we can talk about whatever, but what can you do in 5 months? 5 months is not a long time.
What would be a good finish for Manchester United, all things considered?
The position they're in now, if Manchester United finish in the top 4, brilliant. And I mean brilliant, the position they're in now. So we just have to wait and see, because, yeah, we're always going to get a big, big change in players' attitudes once the manager comes in. You have to, because everyone wants to get in the team, no one wants to be left out. Then after that, 5, 6, 7 games in, you're going to see where people are at and how the system's going and all those kind of things. And like I said before, it's about results. If you can get results, everyone's happy. If you can't get results, we could be in the same position we've been in now.
Well, with the right coach, and the next coach is going to be Rangnick, can they? Can they compete?
With the players they have now?
Yes.
I'll agree with Scholes, no. Not in the midfield area. If you look at what Manchester City have in the midfield area and what Liverpool have, there's no comparison. You know, you got to look at it this way. If Manchester City or Liverpool was to take a midfield player from Manchester United, who would they take? Now, vice versa. If Manchester United want to take players from Liverpool or Manchester City, who would they take? We'd take the whole midfield. I mean, so that tells you everything. You know, probably the only person, Paul Pogba, the rest that take them.
What do you think, Sean?
I'm with Andy there, and I love the fact that he said Man United will take all 3 Man City midfielders.
You want to say it again, don't you?
Class players. They are class players. I watch Man City in the midfield, the rotation, and just the way they keep the football. It's lovely to watch. But then I watch Liverpool as well, and it hurts me. I'm going to be honest, it hurts me, but it's lovely to watch what they've got in those midfield areas.
But with Rangnick now at the helm, as we've heard, a great coach, if you've got a really decent coach and you are coached and there's intensity, there's passion, there's all of those things that Demba Ba said, surely he can bring the best out of this squad of players.
Yeah, I'm not saying that. I wouldn't go ahead and say he can't, because, like I said, I don't know too much about him. But is their best still good enough to match the likes of Man City and Liverpool's 3 midfielders? That I don't think, maybe running, but quality-wise, there's still a bit of way away for me personally.
And as Andy just said, top 4.
4 is a big stretch, because in 5 months, like Andy said, it's not enough time for him to really stamp what he's about. Of course, he's going to come in and try it, and then by the time he stamped what he's about, the season could be over and a new manager comes in. So I don't quite understand how it's going to really work, or if he's going to just set up a way to play and then the new man that comes in is going to be somebody that he's put forward So then it kind of just carries on. Otherwise, it would be like he stamps his authority, then he goes, then someone else comes in, then it changes all again. So I'm not quite sure how it's going to go, to be honest with you.
Lots of questions still to be answered when Rangnick comes into the club, and he should be in charge very soon. The next game is Arsenal. OK, coming up,